Hi, good people. This is Delbert. Welcome to my channel. I provide information for educational purposes and a journey of discovery and empowerment. Today, my mission is to empower women by unveiling the original woman and the old blood type woman, her true essence, and her profound influence. This is not a critique of all men, only the patriarchal systems and what they have did to find fault with the revelation of their impressive treatment of women's true identity. As a woman, I must share my download and research with those who seek a deeper understanding of the ancient. I remember when I first started studying Parthenogenesis some years ago, the YouTube focus was on animals only. I was the only one who presented this study about women some years ago. I received many comments from the patriarchals, and I was not moved, just like I'm not today. But now, the discourse that shifted to women, and now it is time to complete the truth. I took the video down and decided that someday I will redo the video, and that is today. I have added some websites and doctors who may say something different from me, but it is okay because I know what I know. Um, your acceptance or rejection of this information is entirely your choice, and it is deeply respected. Your unique perspective and understanding are invaluable. Please form your opinion and think critically about challenging traditional beliefs. You can decide what resonates with you and what does not resonate with you. Your decisions are valued, and your unique perspective is integral to this educational process. I also want to thank all my subscribers, those that's been with me from the beginning, and the newcomers, and I hope your life is going well. Now, this is going to be a very long video. I have put some uh, flip charts in here. I call them flip charts, but uh, I try to stretch them out as big as I can so they'll be visible. I cannot put all this information under content that I have because it is a lot. So I'm squeezing probably two videos into one because I don't want to do the second one. Now, I want to tell you a little bit about the baby when it's time to have the baby. The uterine pressure, laying on your back, can put pressure on the uterus and potentially decrease blood flow to the placenta and baby. This position might also make contractions feel more intense, which affects the baby people. So, I'm trying to, and I've gotten this info. Let me just tell you I've gotten downloads. I've gotten information from a gynecologist who was very near and dear to me. She was sorority, but she shared with me over the years some things that I kept secret when she was here, but she's no longer here, so I'm sharing it with you. So what you're getting on this video is my downloads, my spiritual downloads. You're getting information that came from a gynecologist, and you're also getting some of the researches that I was led to, and some of them are not exact. In my mind, my exact is my downloads and the gynecologist that was near and dear to me. Now, milk distances the relationship between mom and child. Breast milk bonds them together. Now, I know that because I did not breastfeed any of my children. And let me just share this quickly because I think it's important for you to know that, mom. When you give your children those milks that comes out the can, it is not bonding you with your child. I'm not gonna put any names of the milk. You know what the names are, some of them, because you've done it. I did not breastfeed any of my children because I was ignorant in doing so. Now, bonding is very important. That's why a lot of times you say out your mouth, "Ooh, I don't know who this child is." A bonding needed to take place. Also, what needed to take place, you needed to know the proper way of delivering a baby so you can go to a midwife or something of that nature. I was delivered by a midwife. I was not delivered at the hospital. Um, Probably a lot of you are my age probably was delivered by midwives because of the time and how people were during that time. Now, the the word dada, it does not mean daddy. I'm don't not trying to bust your bubbles, brothers. But it does not mean dada. I know you get excited when the baby is saying dada, but dada is means breastfeed. That's what the baby is asking for, the breast milk, and that's what it is. And it sounds like the baby is saying daddy, but no, that's not what the baby. And then the funniest thing about it, I wasn't able to observe children when I was having them, but I was able because I was working. But I was able to observe and examine and watch my three grandchildren from baby from I was in the room when she came out and she was stressed, uh, pushing that baby out, pushing all three of them out. As a matter of fact, my grandson and ooh, don't jump too much when you hear this. But my grandson head came out and his head went back in her, and I thought it was going to uh, kill him because it went back in him. That was a horrible sight to see. But anyway, let me get to this. Let me tell you this what I saw, and it wasn't very pretty to me. Uh, a man on the you're gonna I took a picture of him. There's a man on one of the charts. It shows how he is feeding the baby, and so what it looks like he did, he cut a hole in his shirt and put the bottle through the shirt with just a nipple showing, and he thought that was cute, and he said he was doing it because the mother was busy. That's not cute to me. You brothers, males, you're gonna have to start having respect. It's not easy being pregnant, and it's not easy carrying that baby. And to want to be like the mother, breastfeeding. You have the breast, but it does not secrete milk. Okay, you have everything that the woman has, but it does not function like the woman. Okay, you have everything but just don't function. You came out of her. She did not come out of you. She did not come out the rib of you. You came out of her. Okay? So learn to respect. Learn to as Stephanie Mills says, learn to respect. And I say the power of love. Learn to respect what was here in this planet first. Okay? Learn to respect it. Now, the process begins with the egg, the cosmic egg. They call it the Big Bang. So what the cosmic egg did was gave birth to stars. That's why when you look up in the sky today, you don't see any. Why? Because they're all down here. All the stars are in the planet right now. Okay, all of them. Okay, now those stars were not males; they were females. Okay, what was birth from the egg was the stars. Those stars turned into women, the womb man. That's what happened. Okay. You can't change the origin of anything. Just like the process is the same in the woman's womb. What is first is uh, the woman. She's first. And if the male, if there's going to be a male, that male will come later. But that baby starts as a woman, okay, or a child. I mean, or a female. I don't like to say female because there's a difference between woman and female, and you're gonna hear me talk about that. Now, uh, no, everyone claiming to have come from the stars did not. They are called counterfeit spirits, a term that refers to those falsely claiming a divine or a celestial origin. They did not. This concept is relevant to our discussion as it helps us understand the historical perspective on parthenogenesis. They know who they are. Only when the women became human, did the degenerate, and I say degenerate, process began. The women were giants in devolution process. Okay, they were the giants that they talked about that they put over in Genesis 6. And they talking about, oh, anyway, they made that story up. But anyway, the term parthenogenesis originate from Greek, but the story didn't begin in Greek. Okay, that was the beginning of the story. Greek wasn't the beginning. Okay, Parthenos means virgin. Gen, they say it's Greek, means creation or origin, or you can say genes of Isis. Okay. Um, Now, understanding the anatomical differences between female males is crucial in reproduction biology. For instance, did you know that females have 12 openings okay, while males have 9? These openings are directly related to the reproductive system of each gender. Let's explore these differences and their implication for our reproductive system. Now, like I said, the woman has 12 and the male has 9. She has two openings in her nostrils. She has a mouth. She has two openings in her breast. She has two openings in her ears. She has two openings in her eyes. The single eye, the eyes, not the spiritual eye or the single eye. It's not called the third eye. It's in the third ventricle. That's why people repeat what they hear. It's in the third ventricle. It's not called the third eye. It's called the single eye. It's your spiritual eye. Okay, not a third eye. So let's see. So she has the clitoris. That's another opening. She has the vagina. That's another opening, and the anus, which is another opening. So that's a total of 12. The male has two nostrils, well, the opening, the mouth, the two ears, the two eyes, and he also has a urethra. Uh, for urine and semen, and he has the anus, okay, or if you want to call it the penis. Um, that's a total of nine. Now, the process began with the egg, the stars, and the women. They call it the Big Bang. But there were no men in other cultures but the stars, who later became women on Earth. No, everyone claimed to have come from the stars, and they did not. They're called counterfeit spirits, and they know who they are. Okay? So, parthenogenesis or virgin birth was acceptable before the Roman Greek time. Okay? All ancient gods or avatars were of virgin birth. Okay? If a woman envisioned a boy, she may give birth to one. That's the thinking process. Remember, I always tell you that thought is the manifester, not the speech. They told you in the Bible that the word was made manifest because they wanted to throw you off. Remember who wrote this Bible? It was men that was of the brotherhood, and they wanted to blind and dumb down the masses. So anyway, the thought is the manifester, and by the time you speak it out your mouth, it's already manifested. So keep in mind your thoughts because they're important. So it says if a woman envision a boy in her thoughts, this is then she may give birth to one. In the mother's cell, all living things began. Okay, that's the created principles. They call it the phenomenon. Now, all originals are, I'm going to use the word female, but like I say, there's a big difference between female and woman. So I'm going to use the word female to make my point right now. So all originals are females when formed as a zygote, which is a spermed egg or fertilized egg. Okay, but they later develop into males or stay female. Okay, now you got the three words that are very key in this video is parthenogenesis, uh, mitochondria, and matriarchal, an immaculate conception. Now, the fertilized egg created a zygote, continues moving down the fallopian tube, dividing into two, four, or more. About a week after the sperm has fertilized the egg, the zygote has traveled to the uterus. Okay? The menstrual cycle. The average menstrual cycle is the result of an integration of the primary new neural doctrine complex into a control system regulated by a series of peripheral mechanism of feedback and nerve signals that result in the release of a single mature uh, zy- zygote, which means a complete egg, from a pool of hundreds of thousands of primordial zygotes. Alterations of these mechanisms can lead to pathological conditions and affect the fertility of the patient. Your menstrual cycle is nothing more than undeveloped eggs. Now, you've heard me mention that. I'm going to give you what happened to me. Like I said, sit down if you really interested. Sit down, have a seat, and just take notes. Um, I experienced. I went from 3 day of menstrual cycle into 5 days of menstrual cycle. After I had my third baby, what happened later on, I wasn't having sex um, within a 5 year period. I wasn't having sex with anybody. And what happened was my stomach kind of started getting bigger, and I started having a menstrual cycle that lasted for an entire month. Uh, I was having blood clots coming out of my blood cycle, and so I went in to talk with the doctor, and the doctor told me that I had a tumor. And when it was taken out of me, I got to see hair, uh, just all kinds of embryo parts in that ball. It was a round ball full of blood, and that's what it was. She let me see it afterwards because I requested it. So that's how I know that your menstrual cycle, what happens with your menstrual cycle are getting rid of those undeveloped eggs. Okay, that's what's happening. That's all the menstrual cycle is undeveloped eggs. They know that, but it doesn't take. You can go to the library and find this out. All those medical books are in libraries. So okay, so they're called. Then you have something that they say is a dermoid cyst. A dermoid cyst is the same thing. It is an undeveloped baby, and I have notes on that. I'm gonna try to put as much as I can underneath the video, but I'm not sure. I'm not gonna be able to get all of it underneath there. So dermoid cyst. So if you go to the doctor and the doctor tell you you have a cyst, you might want to have a conversation with your doctor. And maybe some that they're being very open. Doctors are being very open now these days, so they might tell you. Okay, some of these dermal cysts sometimes mistaken for by surgeons for tumors, but are embryos and are similar in respect to the products of female gestation, containing bones, hair, teeth, flesh, glands, portions of the scalp, faces, eyes, ribs, in short, all the organs of the human body. Your benign tumor is an undeveloped baby. Now, from animal, which is a tadpole, the birthing process, from tadpole stage to embryo to the fetus, guess what that is? That's steps of 333. So that baby goes through 3 steps within that womb. And those 3 steps, when you add that up, 3 plus 3 plus 3 is 9. Okay? Now I give you that in the slide or the picture. So what is the egg in the woman body? It's called an atom, okay? Or the nuclei. What does it consist of? It consists of photons. What is photons? It's the female, and it is magnetic. Okay, and it consists of neutrons. What is a neutron? It's the great mother substance. It's the DNA. Now, where's electrons? The electrons is outside of that atom. Don't let people fool you. It's outside. Why is it outside? Because electrons only exist in the earth. Electrons does not exist outside of the earth. So when you see electricity out there, All that stuff is coming from your body. I know it's hard for you to phantom, but electricity, everything that you see in the earth is coming from your body. Everything. Okay, so in the uterus only, earthbound electricity is. Then melanin. Melanin is a big conductor within that. And then Dr. Llaila Afrika says that there's a spaceship like in the middle of the brain. Nobody knows what it is. Now, when he did that video, at the time, nobody knew what it was. Now, and that's been some time that he did that video. I've listed bits and pieces of what Dr. Llaila Afrika had to say about melanin. He specifically talked about melanin, and he specifically talked about the difference between melanin based, uh, the one that the melanin is classified at age 12. He also talked about a people that has sulfur and a people that has selenium. Now I'm telling you that the womb man, the woman, she has selenium. Okay, that is a part of her makeup. The sulfur is a part of the female makeup. Now, when I say female, I'm talking about others, those that were not, those that did not come from the stars. That's who I'm talking about. Females. I label them as female. I don't want to be disrespectful, but I want to get my point across. So some elements are much more common than others. The human body is approximately 99% comprised of six elements: oxygen, hydrogen, nitrogen, carbon, calcium, and phosphorus, and selenium. Another five elements comprise of 0.85% of the remaining mass is sulfur, potassium, sodium, chlorine, and magnesium. All these 11 elements are essential. Oxygen, and I'm not going to give you a description, you know what it is: carbon, hydrogen, nitrogen, calcium, phosphorus, potassium. Now, sulfur is not with the womb man. This is different with the womb man, and it's only applies to the female, the sulfur. Now, sulfur is the 10th most common element in the universe and the fifth most common on the earth. Uh, it plays it plays an essential role in the human body. It is always found in the metal. Okay, now that has nothing to do with the universe. Okay, that's what I'm giving you a prescription or the description of what they put in there. And sodium, I have a definition for that: chloride, magnesium, selenium, antioxidant. Antioxidant, that's what sodium, well, antioxidant is a part of sodium. So it has its forms of whatever you had originally had in your body, it is your makeup to heal your body. Everything that you need is in your body. But you would know that if you go outside of yourself. Because going outside of yourself, you'll never be healed. Healing takes place knowing who you are and knowing the elements that you have in you. Now, Dr. Llaila Afrika tells you the difference. The womb man and the female are different. Okay, and I say womb man and female because they are different. I will list a video underneath that. He will give a full lecture on that. I put a lot of Dr. Llaila Afrika uh, pieces in the chart because he had great points, and so therefore I put those in there. Uh, those that are called swarthy, I'm gonna use the word swarthy. Those that are swarthy people, they are melanin and selenium. You don't hear the word selenium talked about, but you do see melatonin in the stores. You see that, and you ask yourself if people produce melatonin, which is a part of melanin, where do they get the melatonin to make what they put in these stores? You ask yourself that question. Uh, like I say, those people that their pineal gland is calcified at 12 years old, they cannot produce melanin at that point, and so they would need melatonin, which you get from the stores and stuff. They would need substitutes, which is what. And so if you're on the wrong diet, uh, you can hinder the production of your body because you're on the wrong diet and you're trying to eat and drink and do what the ones that are calcified. You're trying to be on their diet. If you're on those that pineal gland has been calcified, you're messing yourself up. They use the standard. Uh, uh, Everything is standard from a medical standpoint, based on those that have calcified pineal gland. Even right down to the high blood pressure. I know that because let me just share this little part right here. There's a standard high blood pressure that they determine whether your blood pressure is up or not. I don't do that. My blood pressure, when my blood pressure is up, my feet will swell up, my eye will get to 20, and my eyes will get blurred, and I still be real close to 200. Okay, so you cannot go by the standard. And I'm talking about, it's like even when I go to the hospital, it's still up high according to them. But I know my body. Why? Because I'm paying attention to my body. You have to pay attention to your body. Your body will tell you what it needs. You just have to pay attention to it. Your body will tell you what you don't need. Now, they gave you Henrietta Lack. All women are her. We all are Henrietta Lack. They have been experimenting on all of us. And you know what I mean. They keep tissue samples. They get them from the women today. Even when drawing blood, they gather more blood than they need for testing. Why? I'm an O blood type, and they always take more blood. Um, they don't need 5 and 6 tubes of blood to get done what I need done. Now I'm gonna list a video in there from Dr. Carol Barnes. Um, he was one that did the melanin. I think he's a science doctor. Now, this is falsely written. In Genesis 2:22, it says that the rib which the Lord, YHVH, or NINI, uh, God, Elohim, had taken from man, uh, made he a woman and brought her unto the man. Now, let me just tell you that is a false that was put in there by the brotherhood. Let me tell you something. The womb man was called man for some time until they took the word man and made it into a male. Now, if you take the N away from the word man, you get the word ma, M-A. We got to pay attention to stuff, people. So I'm saying the woman did not come from the man. Okay, that was put together by hating patriarchals that hate women. Now, the woman prostate gland and the male prostate gland. Now, keep in mind, I told you the men got the same thing the women got, but a lot of what the men got is non-functional. And I'm just sitting here thinking about how amazing the body is once you learn it. Now, it's said that the male prostate secretes seminal fluid to produce semen. The woman has a prostate gland, also called the parourethral gland, which is the prostate gland. So just in case, Urethrral, you see that gland, that's the prostate gland. You got to look up them words because that's important. So the woman has a prostate gland, also called the parourethral gland, which is the prostate gland that provides seminal fluid as well. The woman's eggs is already fertilized. I know this gonna be a hard one to phantom. Hard one. And the male sperm adds a small amount to what is already in the egg. Okay? The male penis is like a pool stick connected to the egg. Okay? The woman releases undeveloped eggs each month in her menstrual cycle, which is the only reason for a menstrual cycle. The virgin birth only occurs when the hymen, that's that little part, like when a man first go in, he break that, and that's the most painful experience you can ever have when you first have sex. Uh, that's that hymen has not been entered into. This is the reason why some cultures allow fathers to enter into their daughters' uh, hymen because of the mystery of the virgin birth. See, you didn't know that. There is a culture out there that the fathers are the first one to enter into their daughters. In other words, the fathers are the first one to have sex with their daughters, because it has been known in time, and they knew it up until the Roman period that there were virgin births. Now you got some females out there that are female, and they're not womb man, saying that they have virgin birth. They can't have virgin birth, okay, because they're not a womb man. So I don't know, but that's what they always do anyway. They always copy what is not true. Um, the virgin birth only occurs when the hymen has not been entered into. This is the reason why some cultures allow fathers to enter into their daughters' hymen, because of the mystery of a virgin birth, because of the excitement in the clitoris and penis. There's an excitement that's in the clitoris and the penis, is why they do circumcision. You didn't know that. When they're cutting when they're doing circumcision with the males, they're trying to cut down the excitement in the male's penis, because that's what's in the woman's clitoris. I know that because every now and then I wanted to discover my body myself, so I went into a form of masturbation, and the part of the woman's body that get excited the most is the clitoris. Uh, okay. Let's see here. Okay, because of the excitement in the clitoris and penis, some cultures perform circumcision to settle down the excitement of the clitoris and penis. Or shall I say, calm the dog in the heat. They say the skin, and this is spelled Skerne, Skene. The skin glands are also known as skin ducts. Less vestibular gland, parourethral glands, urethral glands, and female prostate. The skin glands are thought to help with the urination and cleanliness and may also play a role in sexual intercourse. They develop from the same cells as the prostate glands in males. They are sometimes called the female prostate. The skin glands in the female are often called the female prostate because they develop from the same embryonic tissues as the male prostate glands and share sometimes similarities in functions and structure. Skin glands, these are small glands located around the female urethra. They produce a fluid that contributes to lubrication and can play a role in sexual arousal. Prosthetic urethra, the part of the urethra near skin glands, can be associated with fluid release during sexual arousal or orgasm. Female ejaculation, sometimes women experience what is sometimes called female ejaculation, which fluid is expelled from the urethra during organism. This fluid is thought to come from the skin glands. Now, the woman has all the organs as the male, or shall I say, the male has all the organs of the female. Uh, she has a prostate gland that secretes the seminal fluid to semen. Okay, now those of you that say that the woman cannot impregnate herself, yes, she can. Okay, yes, you can. But here's the thing. Here's the thing. There's two things I want you to keep in mind. Is this: when she's a virgin, then she can have a virgin God. When she's not a virgin, what she's not getting a God. She's getting a degenerate person that has to develop in the physical, and it starts with the ego. Sorry, people, but that's real. So you're not a God. You have to develop into that. You have to develop. You got to go from the lower self to the higher self. When a virgin have a baby without having sex, then she has a God. That's how gods come in. Okay? We can't change the order of things. The order is, yes, you can become because you have the God substance in you, but you have to go into the lower chakra system, and then you have to gravitate to the higher chakra system. Sorry, bud. Now, Dr. Delbert Blair said the female glands, or the urpurum, is Epphroron. I listed it on the chart, between the ovary and the uterus. In the urpurum and the mesosalpin, excuse me, which is spelled Mesosalpinx. The puparum, which is Paroophron, produces seminal fluid and seminal secretion, just like a male does. Now, I couldn't find any document stating that, but I will list Dr. Deborah Blair's video. Now, all this stuff is for you guys. I already know the truth, but you guys got to see it in writing. So I tried to find as much as I possibly could for you guys, not for me. The definition is posted in the video for those words. Um, a doctor called Charles Bonnet, 1720 to 1793, was a naturalist and a philosopher in the mid 18th century. His most significant contribution to embryology was the discovery of parthenogenesis in apids, APHIDS, which proved that they call it asexual reproduction of offspring was possible. In his later life, he was an outspoken defender of the theory of generation, not known to performalism, which states that offspring exists before conception in the germ cell of one of their parents. Okay? In a lecture delivered before the New York Academy of Medication in 19 medicine, not medication, in 1933, an immaculate conception, a scientific possibility. Dr. Walter Timmon, Timme, eminent indoctrinate logic, presented evidence to prove that immaculate conception is physiological possible. The parallel ovarian of the female reproduction organs, he claims, in some cases can produce living spermatozoa, 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 capable of impregnating eggs in the same body, causing them to develop without male fertilization. As I told you, the woman's sperm, the woman's egg is already sperm, it has sperm in it. They have been known to appear in young girls from 8 to 16 that have their hymens intact. Now that this generally take place over in the foreign countries, because unfortunately they tend to know more about the human. They tend to know more about herbs and human anatomy than the people in America for some reason. I'm not sure why, but although there are many here in America that was already here in America that were uh, that studied the anatomy of the body and understood herbs as well too. A few of them. Now, unbeknownst to them, one of their eggs had parthenogenealogical been fertilized and then had stopped developing and typically getting trapped in the fallopian tube, had to be removed as the failed embryo had been toxic. There is a reason to believe that the parthenogenesis was the primordial form of reproduction for all life. All the same time, sexual generation arose later due to inferior environment, nurturant condition resulting in diminished fertilization. Now, I'm gonna read this again because I want you to understand because that's my mindset. It was sex is a part of the degeneration. When it was said that replenish the earth and all of those stuff, no, that came from man because the what has been replenished is a degenerate generation it gets worse and got worse and got worse and got worse. Okay? That's what happened. I'm going to keep it real, people. That has been my observation. I'm going to read this piece again. He said, at the same time, sexual generation, and he called it epigenesis, Epigenesis, arose later due to inferior environmental and nutritive condition, resulting in diminished fertility. See, and that's how I think. Now, Jock Lore. Jock Lore is, his name is spelled JACQUESLOEB, from 1859 to 1924. Jock Lore experienced in embryos in Europe and United States at the end of the 19th and beginning of the 20th century. Among the first to study embryos through experimentation, Lord helped found the new field of experimental embryology. Nobly, Lord showed scientists how to induce artificial parthenogenesis, thus refuting the idea that spermatozoa alone were necessary to develop eggs in embryos, and confirming that the chemical constitution of embryos' environment affected their development. Furthermore, lower work showed that scientists could manipulate materials in a library to create, as he called the process, the beginning stage of life. Artificial parthenogenesis is the human manipulation of egg cells, causing embryo development without spermatozoa. Low manipulated unfertilized sea urchin, urchin eggs with inorganic solution of salt water. Uh, Urchin, I think, is an animal. The result was eggs developed into larvae, or early stage embryos, which he later reproduced using frog eggs. Lord elaborated on his results in 1913, artificial parthenogenesis and fertilization. Now, Raymond Bernard, women of the race itself, the primary solid sex, and men the biological afterthought. Now he's been a smart ass, but he is a doctor. The first few months of human life in the womb are spent in female form. If when it is to become a male, then the ovaries descend to become testicles. Testicles, you know what testicles are, and the clitoris elongates into a penis. Guys are naturally second choice. We are here to ensure the survival of the species because of the difficult or impossible for the majority of women to procreate on their own, and of course, because sex is so damn fantastic, at least for most of us. Now that's what he said with his smart ass. Uh and I may put his comments in there because he now the birthmarks. I want to talk about the birthmarks. The birthmarks, like when you having issues or problems with while you're pregnant or something, birthmarks are mental impregnation, the ability of a woman to mark, steal, and control the freshly vibration cell states within her body. She is frightened by something that's going to come out on the baby. It's gonna come out. A mark is gonna appear somewhere on that baby's body. Anytime there's marks on your baby's body that came from while you were carrying them, some type of craving, you get craving marks on your baby. Well, it's a birthmark, but it that baby, you may have just had to have you some, let's say, oatmeal pie. That baby will get a mark on his body with an oat, and that baby will eat oatmeal pie, and you look at it like, oh my goodness, I used to eat them oatmeal pies. But anyway, okay, so the mitochondria. The mitochondria is passed down from mother to daughter, okay? Not male. This type of DNA is found in the mitochondria, the energy producing called cell or organella, inherited exclusively from the mother. That's what my mitochondria is. Now, they found they didn't find they knew they came up with this skeleton called Lucy or Eve. They call it Eve, and they said they found it in Africa. They did not. They took it from the Grand Canyon. I want you to know, for those of you all that do not know, I have researched all the biblical locations in the Bible, and those locations are here in America. uh, I have also counted the pyramids. Uh, the pyramids, most of the pyramids are here. From what I understand, they took some stuff from this location, America, and took it to and that shit weighed tons. And they took it to Africa to make you think Africa was the motherland. The motherland is America. Okay, that's why they wanted the motherland for themselves. So they tried to convince people through DNA that they came from Africa. So they wanted these people to go to Africa so they could have America. Bullshit. Okay, now there was a time period when the womb was worshipped and treasured uh, because of what the magnificence that is, because the womb is the portal from the spirit realm into this realm. Okay, all spirits belong uh, in the spirit realm, which belong to the mother. You can say Father all you want to, but belong to the mother. And when the spirits leave your body, I was waiting on an answer, but all souls, when it leaves the physical body, it goes to that moon up there. That's the holding place for it to be reincarnated back down here. So those of you that think that you're calling on your ancestors, you're not calling on the ancestors. You're calling on some entities that are invisible that wants something from you. So because it wants something from you, it's going to do your deeds. But it's called a tit for a tat. Don't take my word for it. Just keep on calling on them ancestors. Because what I'm seeing, a lot of people are calling on them ancestors, and I'm finding that horrible things happen to them. I met a guy from the Bahama that my mother introduced me to. I didn't know who he was, but my mother knew, and that man was something else, and he didn't play, and but he died of a horrible death. I just wanted to share that with you. So they went from worshiping the womb because it was magnificent. It's not the womb is not magnificent now because uh, the females are no longer. They don't understand the precious that how precious their body is. But when you out there slanging and having sex with Tom, Dick, and Harry and everybody, and you say God gave it to you, and not there having babies by Tom, Dick, and Harry, and say God told you to multiply. God didn't tell you to multiply. Man told you to multiply. Man told you to multiply because he knew the germ that was in man. He knew that all kinds of sexual transmitted diseases was going to mess you up. He knew that because he hate women, okay? And it's very clear in their books that they hate women, okay? They hate women because they're jealous of who women are, and that's clear too, you know. But you are a woman. You are a part of that woman. So the best thing, well, let me finish this. So they went from worshiping the womb into worshiping the phallus. The phallus is the penis. And if you look at all everything that was built in the land, look at it. It's shaped like a penis. It's shaped like a vagina too. I give you the church. The opening the doors of the church is the womb. That's the part of the womb. But look what they did. They took and put the penis on top, which is the steep on top of the steeple. The steeple is the penis. So what they did, they made the penis higher than the womb, and it's not because the penis is not connected to the spiritual realm, but the wound is. So the penis blocks the spirituality. Because why? Because most males are in their lower self. So when males are in their lower self and they connect and they put a sperm in you and you get pregnant and you have a baby, guess what you're gonna have? You're gonna have a lower energy baby. And what was so funny, I remember some year they were talking about indigo babies was coming to the planet. First of all, indigo babies uh, is connected to the womb, and the people that were saying indigo babies, their babies, you ain't been no, you're not part of that. You're not what was happening. Everything that was connected to the stars came down and it's now in the earth, and this earth has to change to what it's supposed to be, and it's going to change to what it's supposed to be. So what they did, they changed the way people worship from worshiping the womb into worshiping the phallus. So you have these symbolism all around you. They're everywhere. It is when the brotherhood fought the women in the book of Chronicles and Kings, was during the time of the period that they were fighting the women. All this whole planet was matriarchal. Okay, so all the brotherhoods got together with their jealous self, and start destroyed uh, peace. That's what they did. They destroyed peace. They destroyed people coming together, helping one another. They destroyed just people being edified. And look what you got today. So this is the result of them breaking down the matriarchals. This is the result of what you see. So where's the energy coming from? You ain't gonna like what I'm about to say. Because the woman is the only spiritual being in the earth. When the brotherhood tore her down, the brotherhood also used her in a negative way to bring this earth to what it is. So it's going to take uh, the woman to strengthen herself so the earth can be brought back to where it's supposed to be. They tell you that the earth is Mother Earth. No, the earth is not Mother Earth. The earth is daughter Earth. The great mother is not in this earth. Okay? The great mother is beyond this earth, okay? But this great mother exists through us, okay? Because we have her substance, okay? Um, so the brotherhood fought the women. They replaced the worship of the vagina, which is called the vortex, which is called the Holy Grail, which is called the vulva, which is called the entrance, which is called the flower, the house, the door, the fish, the gateway, the yoni, the channel, the canal, the hymen, the cave, the stone, and many other titles given. I bet you never really paid attention to all these sexual symbols all around you. Now, the patriarchals created these images, calling it the devil. That image that you see of Kali Ma, that's an image that they created. They wanted you to think that Kali Ma is so evil and wicked because that's what they did. They deified, the Brotherhood deified the women, is what they did. And they deified the mother, the great mother. Okay? That's what they deified. And those that you see in Hindu, those were not the original women. Okay? So it didn't come from them. They inherit the culture, but all you see in these different places uh, that is of a different skin tone, these people inherit that, or they may have gravitated to that culture, but they weren't the creators of that culture. Okay, just want you to know that. So, because I hear a lot of people calling Ma, she was a swarthy woman, so she wasn't no, you know. And just keep in mind when the Brotherhood did what they did, they supplanted. As you when you look around, what they did when they conquered, they supplanted. And what I mean by that, they put uh, 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 cultures in those environment that wasn't originally there. That's what they did. And so when you got up or woke up and looked at it, you said, "Oh, well, that's not there," but they were. They were all over. The swear the people was all over the planet, all over the planet. Okay. Uh, so the word devil comes from the Greek word diabolos, which means slanderous, uh, which means across through, which means to hurt. No, to hurl, HURL. Uh, to gyrate, which means he lifts up. But the Brotherhood deified the women. They did that because so you would be against the women. They actually use reverse psychology, just like what they're doing today. Just like what you see with the Pope. The Pope gives you, well, they give you this male figure, but when you go and look at what the Pope is bending his ass down to, you would see uh, a woman and a child. Uh, that male child that you see in her arms is not the beginning. Okay, that's not the beginning stage at all. The beginning stage that the women were having women. Okay, yeah, we ain't gonna get that shit twisted. We telling the truth these days. The truth will set you free. Okay, and then they put that the word devil and divinity grew from the same root. Diva, you hear people calling themselves diva, DEVA, and they don't know that that word was created by the Brotherhood. And to call yourself a diva is calling yourself, and it's spelled also DAEVA, DIVI, or DIVUS. Okay, the conclusion. I want you to understand the conclusion. And the conclusion is my total. feel on these things. All you have is what the patriarchal told you in some school books, other books, and the Bible, which they put together, which is not the all truth. However, some facts prove that women existed long before men were created. So if Adam and Eve's story is false, how can anyone else written in the Bible be taken as facts? This disproves the whole story of the Bible. Something in your brain will not make you believe the story is false. It is all allegoric stories. Why is it so hard to admit you have been lied to? Your ego will make you think that this shit is truth, and it's not. Uh, I was there at one point. We have all been lied to about everything. When they came up with the lie of Adam and Eve, they did not consider that one day there would be evidence that this proved that the literal story. I guess they figured we would all be so brainwashed that we would not care to accept our download or do the research. And few who see through the lies would be deemed sane and demoralized or demonized. Now, I want you to keep in mind the IVF baby process. That go look at the IVF, IV as in Victor, F baby process. I wrote it down. It's really and it is really a false artificial insemination, and you don't know. That's not. You don't know what they're doing with the those eggs that you go and get freezed up. You don't know what they're doing with those eggs. Okay, they tell you one thing, and then I saw there's some people that have had this process done, and that child, that embryo looks just like them. Now, the baby don't come out spitting image. It looks like it was a copy made, and it wasn't really real. Okay, now that's just my look on it. Um, Meaning of words. Dermoid cyst, you might want to look that up. That's DERMOID. Cyst, CYST. Uterus, UTERUS. DNA, bone marrow. There was a doctor out there said that the sperm comes through the bone marrow of a woman. Zygote, um, that's the fertilized egg. Clone, you might want to look that up. Tubal pregnancy, you might want to look that up. Fibroid, ovaries, ovulation, fertilization, placenta, selenium, SELEUIUM, you might want to look it up. Serotonin, phosphorus, you might want to look that up. With pituitary gland, puberty, potassium. And then I'm going to list some of the places that you can go and find stuff. Uh, uh, I pulled something from uh, Google Scholar, STEDMAN Dictionary, right along with some articles that I will list underneath, and the video of Dr. Delbert Blair, and the video from Dr. Llaila Afrika, and there's a video about virgin birth from uh, Dr. Helen Papadopoulos. And then also, I'm going to list a video with elements because a lot of times you think you know and you don't know, and that's all of us. Um, so hopefully you got something out of this video. Um, It took me a minute to put it together. I tried to think of as much as I possibly can to put it together, just to give you a start so you can go off and do your own research. We need to know who we are, people. That's real. And just because the swarthy women were in the planet first, that doesn't mean the females that are out there are any less. That's I'm giving you the start. Remember, I always say I like to go from the start of anything to understand the middle and the ending of things. Um, but it's time to do speak the right truth. It's not in the books. The brotherhood are the ones that put all those books together. And if you are one that is a believer of a book, that's all right with me. I ain't got no problem with it because you are who you are. I'm not trying to change you. I'm only putting this information out here for people that are searching. So until the next video, take care, good people.